city manager, and the purpose of tonight's meeting is to receive public input on the budget process. What I want to do tonight is kind of tell you where we are today, give you some what we think are considerations and what we know, and then ultimately we'd love to hear from you if you have any comments going into budget development. So if we can, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll talk for about 10 minutes and then we are all ears. We have all kinds of note takers in the room as well, I want you to know. Our finance staff, assistant city manager, a whole team of folks throughout the departments. So we're all ears, and I look forward to your comments. For our agenda today, we have some key dates, our Vision 2030, our fence posts, and also considerations. Key dates, number one is today, May 28th, our first budget forum. As you know, when we deliver the budget to council, they'll have a series of public hearings that the public's invited to attend. It'll be during a council meeting, so it should be pretty convenient for you. There'll be a series of those. I don't know exactly how many, probably 3 to 4 at least, before budget's adopted. On July the 8th, we delivered the budget to the city council. So right now we're in the developmental stage. All the departments have the budget. We'll go through our departmental meetings and then we'll deliver. Then it becomes the council's budget. And they'll continue to tweak and adjust it where they see fit and help ultimately come up with our final product, which will be adopted September the 9th. On August 12th, that's another key date when the effective tax rate and rollback rate is presented and discussed. Also, the preliminary tax rate will be set by the city council, and then also a public hearing that night as well. There we go, public hearings prior to that in July. And then ultimately, as I said, leading to the budget adoption on September the 9th. Vision 2030, we always refer to this not only as a staff, but also as a council. This was that work plan from 2007, large group of people, citizens, stakeholders, council members, staff members, all got together at the conference center, and we talked about what was going to be the items that we need to pay attention to if we wanted to be the kind of city that we think that we can be. We call it Vision 2030, so by 2030, if we address all of these bullets, we think we can be the city that we want to be. And as we tell our staff, we find ourselves amongst every bullet there, every person on our staff. Sometimes you wonder, sound infrastructure, targeted economic development, what does that have to do with us? Well, with the services that we provide and funds that we provide for certain things, it's important that we identify those and track those each and every day, to be quite honest. But obviously, budget time is a great opportunity to refresh our memories and to remind ourselves what we said was important. And again, this wasn't staff, this was a collective group of people. I think those bullets still remain the same, and if you were to go to any city USA, you'd probably see some of the similar bullets that we list. We think we're a little unique, and because of that, we try to think out of the box and target ourselves, position ourselves for success today and into the future. Fence posts. As we told council in the first briefing, this is literally where we try to keep the budget. Keep it in that fence. Let's don't go outside of that fence. And some of those fence posts are this. Maintain fiscal soundness within the existing tax rate. I think that's important. Council said yes, they felt that was important too, in maintaining that existing tax rate. Focus on the mission and service levels. That's all we talk about as a staff. Our mission, dedicated service every day for everyone, and the levels of service that we provide to the citizens, no matter what department is providing those services. Align programs and services with our strategic plans, our financial plans, and all the various master plans. Our master plans, our strategic plans, they don't acquire dust. Those are used every day. It's important not only that we look at them and refresh our memories, but we utilize them to the fullest. It keeps staff focused, it helps us plan better, it keeps council in position, in a planning position at all times, and it keeps, it's what progress looks like. Some of those master plans, water and sewer master plan, we're going out with a thoroughfare master plan. We have a parks master plan that's taking place. You may have heard last night, the reuse water master plan is now underway. All these plans that if you don't have that plan, spending can get out of control, and also you put your dollars in places that maybe it's not best served. So it's very important that we focus on those plans and align our programs and services with them. Focus on people. That's not only the 1,300 employees that we have and the benefits and pay that's associated with that, but it's the citizens of Killeen and the services that we provide. So if we focus on the people and the services that are provided, we think that we keep the budget in the shape that it needs to going forward. Focus on economic growth. That's critical. It's one of our, number one, sales tax is one of our chief revenue sources in the budget. And if we have that economic growth that we think is important and sustainable, it'll continue to grow that base and hopefully keep other expenses and revenues down. So focus on economic growth is very important. So here are the considerations. As I said, we're always going to review and evaluate all of our major operating programs and services. When we talk about programs, funds and programs, we're talking about the water sewer fund, aviation, solid waste, those enterprise funds, along with the general fund, the tax-supported services, police, fire, quality of life, all those types of services as well. We'll issue debt, the council will, the second meeting in June. That's that $20 million CIP program. And for those of you who don't know, just real quickly, I'll go over that. What's included in the $20 million package? Tremere Road, you'll soon see, within the next couple of years, you'll see the center turn lane, some added mobility, some sidewalks and so forth on Tremere from CTE to Elms Road. You'll also see Lowe's Boulevard connect from east to west to Florence Road. And also at W.S. Young and Bacon Ranch, where we lose that center turn lane around Copper Mountain Library, is to create a center turn lane and straighten up that road a little bit there. Those of you that have driven in any of those roads, I think you know what that looks like in certain times of the day. Also, that's Fire Station 9, which will be located off of Bunny Trail. That includes bricks and mortar and also fleet and equipment that goes with that. The other part of that is quality of life. It's Parks and Recreation. We have an enhancement grant of about $1.2 million, maybe $1.4 million. At the West Side Park location, which is at Watercrest and runs to Robinette. And eventually this trail will connect all the way to Texas A&M Central Texas. So this first phase is about 1.5 miles. We have a TxDOT grant that goes with it, so we'll use some of the parks money as that match, the local match that's required. Also renovation of the Killeen Community Center, and then we have some general park use. Any opportunities that we might have anywhere in town. North side at Long Branch, maybe a southeast community park, could be a west side opportunity, could be any number of things. The Parks Master Plan will help us determine that. Then we'll have a very robust discussion with City Council to ensure that those dollars are being spent wisely. And what I'll also tell you is part of that debt issuance, we have certificates of obligation and also general obligation bonds. If you remember that 2002 bond election, this will use the rest of that. It's about $4.6 million for Parks and Recreation. So we'll use the rest of those dollars with this issuance. Also considerations to identify efficiencies and opportunities for cost savings. Anytime I hope our staff is doing this every day, but anytime you get into budget, you always look to be more efficient. And it's what we try to do. An example of that just recently was our Fuel Man program. It used to be that you had to drive into the center of town to Fleet Services to fill up and then go back out on your route or your work site. Well, now the Fuel Man allows you to fill up literally anywhere in Killeen, any convenience store, any outlet that has gas pumps. What that does is it keeps our patrol officers out on their beat. It keeps our work crews out on the work site where they don't have to drive in and spend a lot of windshield time moving back and forth. Also, opportunities with light and power. We just signed an agreement. Well, we signed an agreement back in 2011. It just came into effect. This year takes our kilowatt use, our price per kilowatt from 8 cents to 6 cents. And that's significant when you talk about the amount of light and power that we use as an organization. So we'll continue to track all those, and we know that the reuse program will be an efficiency probably of magnitude that we can't even comprehend at present time. The first project is going to be the golf course irrigation. Currently we use the potable water. It's about 500,000 gallons of water a day. That's about 1 year's development of residential development. That is significant. And you know, if you followed the path with the water treatment plant, we're already creeping up to that 85% rule. So anything that we can do to reduce that is a great thing. And then the reuse water, which will come straight from the 38th Street plant, will be an opportunity for that targeted economic growth. And we can go out and actually solicit folks and say, we have the water that you need for your operation. Give us a call and at least give us a consideration. So those are some of the efficiencies that I'm talking about. Review and consider employee compensation and benefits. We're about at the 75 percentile, maybe about 80 percentile of our compensation study. We have some draft results of that. And it's all things compensation, total rewards, not just pay and insurance, but also things like wellness program, opportunities like that. So we're looking at that. Just for example, a payroll in the city of Killeen, each time we cut checks, every 2 weeks, is approximately $2 million. So it's big payroll. And so we have to pay attention to that and be as efficient as we possibly can. Also, assess economic and military trends. I don't think I have to tell anyone in this room about sequestration or BRAC opportunities and challenges. So we have to pay very close attention. It appears it's moving towards a 2017 BRAC or potential BRAC. There'll be another listening session to come up probably later this summer, as we had a couple of years ago in the community. And then our economic trends. If you noticed, our sales tax had been down for the first 8 months or so of the year, and we had a slight uptick this past year. So again, we project revenues, and so we need to track those. And if that was to sustain a downward path, then we have to adjust. And so those are things that we would pay attention to very closely. So that is our budget in a nutshell, a quick glance. We presented this to the City Council. We've had approximately 8 employee budget meetings. They're all voluntary meetings to get input. We learned a long time ago that we were much smarter working together as a staff and also with our citizens. And that's exactly why we're here tonight, to hear what you have to say, maybe some thoughts that you might have on how we can shape our budget and be the best budget possible. With that, I'd love to entertain any questions you have, and we've got note takers everywhere. And someone has to